Yeah, hello guys, and welcome back to this amazing channel. I want to appreciate every one of you who has given this a view, the first video, and also taking your time to subscribe and follow up with this channel. You're amazing, and I promise you won't be disappointed. All right, so we are on to our Flutter development. Yeah, so Flutter, like we've said, is a mobile framework used to develop apps for iPhone, for Android, for Windows, and even for desktops. Yeah, I said it, desktops. Flutter is a very multi-dynamic mobile framework, easy to learn, easy to use, and very wonderful. It feels so great, feels so native, and it does the job very smoothly. Right now, yeah, let's go ahead to set up our environment. The first thing we need to do is to set up the environment for developing Flutter. So the environment can be either on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, or Chrome OS. So you just have to pick the one that suits you. For my own case, I would go with Mac OS because I use a Mac, and then we're going to be using Android for a start. Don't worry, we'll go to the rest, we'll touch on the rest as time goes on. So we'll stick to Android. Now, when you've picked these requirements, it gives you the necessary things you need to proceed. Yeah, the system requirements to install and run Flutter on your macOS. You must meet the following hardware and software requirements. For the hardware, you need the minimum of 4 CPU cores. You need an 8 gig RAM of memory, and then a free space of at least 44 gigabytes. Of course, your display resolution has to be top notch, so I won't talk more about that. Then for the software requirements, you need to have an operating system more than Catalina. Of course, we've gone past Catalina a long time ago. I think currently we are on Sonoma, and Catalina, I can tell, is like some years ago. So yeah, you should be having a more recent OS to be able to run Flutter. And then also, we need some development tools. The Android Studio is needed. Your Git is also needed because it pulls certain things from your Git repo, not your Git repo, but some public Git repo which Flutter uses. So yeah, let's move on. Oh yeah, I need to mention that we need a text editor. And for the sake of this course, I will be introducing us to a very unique text editor, which a lot of persons know. It's called VS Code, Visual Studio Code, for short, VS Code. It's a dynamic code editor that offers some numerous wonderful internal tools, including one which I'm going to be using for this course today. So yeah, you'd have to pick for the code editor. Yeah, you have to visit the website code.visualstudio.com and pick the one that suits you. If you're on Mac OS, you pick the one for Mac OS. If you're on Windows, you pick the one for Windows. On Linux, there's one for Linux. So yeah, what then it does, it tries to pick your OS, and then it gives you the first option. So it picked my OS. It says download Mac Universal. Cool. So when I hit the download, the next thing it shows me should be more or less like, okay, yeah, the same thing it showed you the other time. You have Windows, you have this, you have that. Okay, yeah, I still pick Mac, and it tells me it is starting to download the Mac version for me. Okay, I don't need it because I already have it. When you're done downloading it, you should have it here as Visual Studio Code. So I have it here, and I equally have it opened. When you open it, you have this. Yep, and like I said, we'll be needing a unique tool in the Visual Studio Code, which I would love to use in this tutorial. And that tool is simply the terminal tool. The terminal tool helps us run terminal command, or you say command line in our command prompt. So for those using Windows, your familiar with command prompt. So terminal is equal to the command prompt or your shell environment. Yeah, so I can just launch the terminal and I get it. If you watch, yeah, there's a shortcut for it. On your Mac OS, if you hit your control and there's this button next to shifts, and yeah, it toggles it up and off, up and off. So yeah, we already have that and we're going to be rolling with it. Good. Having said that, let's go back to our Flutter installation. So for the Flutter installation, you need to first download the Flutter stable pack. Now, I am using a Mac OS, so for Mac, there are two types of chip. There's an Intel chip and there's the Apple Silicon chip. For mine, I have a system which runs on Intel chip, but this system is an Apple Silicon chip. So I'm going to hit the download for Apple Silicon chip. And then when I download it, obviously, yeah, I have it downloaded already. So it's right here as Mac OS ARM. Now, Mac OS ARM is the downloaded version from Flutter website. If you watch everything you have here, Mac OS, Flutter Mac OS ARM, blah blah blah, stable is exactly what we have here as Flutter Mac OS ARM, blah blah, stable. Cool. The next thing you want to do is to unpack this zip file. When you unpack it, you get a folder, and the folder is Flutter. Yep, this is what you need, exactly what you need to develop in Flutter. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code so I show you what exactly you need to do. Yeah, we're back on our Visual Studio Code. The first thing we need to do is to navigate to the point where we have this folder. As you can see, it is right within Documents, Softwares, and you get Flutter. So let's see how to do that from our terminal. So I don't know, for those of you that are familiar with terminal commands, yeah, I'm sure this is going to be an easy one for you. But those that are not familiar with it, to navigate to a given location, you use CD. CD means change directory, space, and then you put this infinity kind of symbol, and then a forward slash, right? And then you type documents. Exactly. So what I've done is I'm saying change location to something 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 slash documents. The infinity tells us that I don't know what is before the document, but I know I am going to a documents folder. The documents folder is within my system. So I have done that and I have said documents. Exactly. So it comes to documents and I say look for softwares folder. This is softwares folder. If I want to go further, I would say in the software folder, look for Flutter folder. Yep, and we get Flutter folder. All right, so yeah, if I hit the enter, we have changed our directory and now we are in the Flutter folder. Beautiful. Now, if I wish to see the things in the Flutter folder, it's very simple. I would only say command prompt, please ls. ls means list. List everything in the folder. And it shows us every single thing in the folder. Authors, contributing.md, readme.md, bin, example, and so on and so forth. All right, everything here is important, but not of concern to us right now. What we are concerned about is the bin folder. So we're going to change directory into the bin folder. Now we are in the bin folder. Let's see what's in the bin folder. We have cache, we have Dart, we have Dart.bat, we have Flutter, we have Flutter.bat, we have internal. Now, what we most concern ourselves with is the Flutter, because it is Flutter we want to develop. Right? Cool. Now, since we are saying the Flutter right now, it means we can reference Flutter from here. Now, if you watch I am a bit fast with my typing, especially when it's so long. Okay, I don't do any magic. All I do is I type FLU and I hit the tab. The tab helps me complete everything else there. Yeah, so that's like some beautiful things you're going to be learning as we go on with our tutorials, with our series. Now, Flutter, I want to check the version, dash dash version. What do we have? Oh, so it works. It says you're using Flutter version 3.22.1. So it has successfully told you the version of Flutter. It told you the framework, the engine, and the tools that you have. Beautiful. Now we have a proper setup of Flutter. Now let's see what happens if we move out of the bin folder. Now we are back to the Flutter folder. Let's try to do the same thing. Flutter and dash dash version. Okay. So that works. I'm going to do something very quickly, and don't worry. All right. So I'll try the Flutter version again. Oh, okay. So I think I need to shut down this and reopen a new terminal, and let's try the Flutter version again. Okay. For some reason, it keeps working, which is fine. I'll tell you why it's working. I'm sure if you try it on your own system, it probably will fail. Now, the reason why it may fail in your own system is because you have not set the Flutter to be an environment variable. So the question is, how do you work with environment variables? Now, in your Windows, there is something called environment variables. If I say environment variables on Windows, now there's a portion in your Windows setup under the system control panel where you can set an advanced setting and enter some environment variables. If you want to know more about it, try to Google, read up on it, and you see what I'm talking about. Now, for Mac OS, the environment variables for Mac OS are stored in the RC files. The RC files are some system files or system-related files that tells the environments and helps to set environment variables for your entire Mac OS, not just a project, but your entire Mac OS. To access your RC files, for Linux, you could just do vim /.bash rc, and then for some others you have a lot of RCs, and for Mac it is zshrc. Right now, if I view this file, you can see that we have a lot of environment variables. We have the Java home, we have the Node.js, we have some other bin, and so on and so forth. Now, what we need to do is to set the environment variable for our Flutter. To do that, we can do that in so many ways. First of all, I'll recommend that we take the Flutter to a particular location where we want it, where we would like it to be. In my own case, I love it to be not in the software folders, but in some other folder which I can classify as Flutter Dev or Flutter Files. So yeah, I have a folder here called Flutter Files, right? So all I need to do is to copy this folder here, or move it. Basically, to move it, I would have to just come here this way. Here, I'm out, and I'll scroll down to enter this place, and I will drop it. Now, if you see, I have a Flutter folder here. If I drop it now, it tells me, am I replacing it, or should we stop the action? So I'm just going to stop it since I already have a replica folder. The same thing, it has the bin here, and everything is still the same way it is as the other one. So now I would like to give the path of this bin, because it is the Flutter we are referencing, I would like to add the part of this bin to our environment path. Now, to do that, I'll have to come back to my VS Code, and I would navigate to, yes, search for documents, search for Flutter Dev, and then also search for Flutter init, and then try to get bin. Good. Now that we see where it is, let me clear my screen. So it's as simple as writing clear. It clears off the screen. So we could say that your command prompt or your terminal understands certain English language, which is straightforward. Now, to see the path that we need to add to our environment part, I'll just type pwd. Yup, so this is the exact part that we need to add. Good. Now, I will copy these parts, and then I will go to my Vim. Vim is the text editor within your terminal. And I'm saying, please open my ZSHRC. And then now to add the parts, yeah, I would have to do this. I'll type exports parts equal variable parts plus I paste what I copied. You remember I copied this? Yes. Now I'm pasting it, and then I'll have to save. Now I have saved it. Since it is saved, the next thing I want to do is to refresh. To refresh your ZRC, your ZSH rather, you do source slash ZSHRC, and that is it. It is refreshed. Now I don't care about this anymore. I can call my Flutter from anywhere. So if I come to the terminal, new terminal, and I say Flutter dash dash version, yep, it works. It means I can now create my Flutter app. Woohoo! We've passed the first stage of setting up the Flutter. So in our next series, we'll be looking at running a very simple Hello World application. Very simple. For now, thank you very much and have a nice day.